All right.
I just wanted to get I don't remember where we left off. Oh, pedophiles.
All right, welcome everybody to this week's episode of the Extremely Lowbudget Podcast. Today we're going to be introed finally by the man, the myth, the legend, Dalton. Take it away, Dalton.
What?
Hey, that's me.
Yeah.
Dalton's got the best funny names.
I know, he
Better
does it
than
better
Kyle's.
than me. Good intro. All right, this week we'll be talking about movies that we're thankful for. This is, again, the month of thanks. We're still in November, still the thankful month. And so this week we're talking about the movies that we are thankful for. Maybe not our favorite movies of all time, but at least ones that we appreciate. So we're gonna go in alphabetical order for this episode.
What the hell?
Oh, you know what, though?
Switching things
Before
up.
we begin,
I'll
tell you one movie I'm not thankful for. It's not a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's that time when I got roasted in the comments of the last episode of the podcast because I don't like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
So, yeah, to begin this, we're going alphabetically, and that kicks us off with Sir Alex's favorite or thankful for movie.
Yeah.
Favorite full movie.
So, I guess nobody had to watch this because they all knew they had all seen it before, what it was. But the movie that I'm most thankful for this month is Iron Giant.
Yeah.
You only knew that because it showed up on the Netflix queue, and you were like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, I figured it out.
This has been a favorite movie of mine since I was a child. When I stayed home sick from school, I would watch this movie all the time. It was like the first one I popped on. So it starts off, and you get a UFO that crash lands on Earth, and lands in the ocean, whatever. Some dude, some like fisherman sees him, and that's how it starts. He's like, oh, I've seen a UFO, some alien thing crash. It was like, they're like, it's Sputnik, or whatever. And so then you meet Hogarth, the best character in animation. And
You say that jokingly, but he's like your actual favorite, right?
Yeah, I love Hogarth. Well, you don't know too much about him in the movie, but anyway, so you meet Hogarth and his mom. You don't know anything about their dad. I forget where they live now.
The United States of America.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. I'm looking out for you.
But they overhear the fisherman guy talking about the UFO and alien, whatever, and it sparks Hogarth's interest. And it's a good scene right away because he brings like a squirrel back to the diner that his mom works at, and he's
Yes.
like, "Hey, I got a pet. Can we keep it and whatever?" And she's like, "Fine, like let me see it." And then it ends up getting out of the box and runs around, and that's where you meet Dean, because the squirrel like crawls up his pants,
Yep.
whatever. Good scene. I love that scene. Let's see what happens next. So, whatever. You meet Hogarth, his mom. Dean, the fisherman guy, is not important. You see a glimpse of the Iron Giant at the beginning. Let's see here. So then we found out that his mom has to work late, so he stays home alone. And he hears a noise outside. And so he's like, alright, I'm going to go investigate what's going on. So he gets his little BB gun and tapes his flashlight to it. He goes out into the woods, and this is where he meets the Iron Giant, and he's like, what the hell?
Does he shoot him?
No, he doesn't shoot him.
Did he have his camera? He wanted to take a picture of it.
Oh, he did take a picture of it.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
He doesn't have his camera yet. This is at night when he meets him for the first time. So the Iron Giant, he follows like the tracks to this big like power station, because Iron Giant's trying to eat the metal there, because that's how he lives, I guess, is he eats metal. Mm-hmm. And then he tries to like grab part of the power supply, whatever, and it shocks him, and he gets knocked out.
Yep.
And then Hogarth is investigating, and like throws a rock down his mouth, and he climbs to life and he runs away. His mom doesn't believe that he saw a giant metal man So he starts obsessing over this Iron Giant, and I think meanwhile the FBI is getting like reports that, oh yeah, because they're called to the power station because it's like destroyed. So they're like, they call this guy that's supposed to specialize in things that you can't explain, and so that's what's his name? Forget now.
Military man.
You say
Mansley.
It all the time,
It's Mansley.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like, you say it
Mansley.
all the time.
Where's the giant, Mansley? So yeah, you meet Mansley. He's a weird beta cuck. Let's see what happens. So he finds out that it's bigger than what he thinks. He thinks it's just some stupid, like, I don't remember what he says, but like the Iron Giant eats his car, and he's like, oh, this is huge. Like, this is gonna be big for me. And this is when Hogarth tries to go back with like a metal sheet and get pictures of the Iron Giant, which, long story short, he does, and he meets him, and they kind of start becoming friends, and this is where you get the...
Has he already trashed the train by this scene?
He does.
At the power station?
No, he doesn't at the power station. This is coming up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because he meets him, and he teaches him how to say tree and rock, right? And then they kind of become friends, and this is where you get the you stay, I go, no following. He's trying to walk away, but the Iron Giant doesn't understand, so he just keeps following him. And then he crosses the train tracks, and the Iron Giant tries to eat the railroad. And then Hogarth is trying to teach him how to like put it back because there's a train coming. And then he tries to get it like real perfect, and the train smashes his head in, whatever. And he's like, oh no, this is bad. And then this is where we start getting some more of the like Mansley stuff. Like Mansley gets called, and they're like, "Oh, there's a giant robot in the train tracks or whatever." And I forget how, but Hogarth brings him back to his house and lets him stay in the shed, and that's where you learn that he can like reassemble himself remotely. And then this is where Mansley is in the area, so he goes over to the Hogarth's, the Hughes' house, because they're like the nearest house that has a phone.
Right.
And then he starts getting real suspicious about Hogarth or something like that. Because the hand didn't find its way back, so it's like in the house.
Yeah.
So Hogarth is trying to get the hand into the shed, and that's a really good scene too, where he's like trying to move it throughout the house and distract his mom and stuff, and Mansley's at the door, and he pushes it out the bathroom window. And then let's see. Then, he finds Dean's junkyard to feed him, so because all the metal he can eat in the junkyard, and so that's where you kind of you learn more about Dean, and kind of his deal. Not much about him. Yeah, he's an artist. He makes art out of the junk.
Yeah. So he gets upset when the Iron Giant's eating all of his junk.
Yeah. But then there's a scene where he's upset that he's eating it, and then he tells him to fix it.
Yeah.
And then he starts using him for his art.
Yep.
So then it's like Hogarth and Dean, and they both know the Iron Giant, and Mansley's still trying to find out, and he's real suspicious about Hogarth, and he starts to kind of he basically knows that Hogarth knows about the Giant.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get stuff out of him, but he can't like prove it to his boss, the general. And then let's see. I don't know. There's like a few scenes where he's teaching the Iron Giant some stuff. There's the scene where they go to the lake.
Favorite. I love that.
I
quote that all the time when Hogarth jumps in and goes, "Come on in, the water's fine."
And the Iron Giant walks away and cannonballs into it. Yeah, that's a good scene. And then skip ahead a little bit, or it might be pretty soon because it's a short movie. But there's a scene where he's like playing with the Iron Giant, and he's pretending the Iron Giant's like Autonomo or something?
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
And he's like, no, I want to be Superman, because that one scene Hogarth brings up the
how the
comics.
Iron Giant has this voice. Oh, dude, really?
It's Vin Diesel, man.
That was a
Can't do
spot
a
on-
Vin Diesel.
That was a spot on impression.
Let's see. Oh yeah, then Hogarth pretends to shoot him with his like toy gun,
Right.
and it triggers something in the Iron Giant's head. And he's like, "Oh, that's a weapon." So he like
Turns into battle mode.
yeah, he goes battle mode and like shoots a laser at him. And Dean's like, "This is not good. Like you tried to kill him or whatever." And Iron Giant's like, "No, what have I done?" And he like runs away, and it starts to snow. So the Iron Giant is running away. And there's like a scene where these two kids are using binoculars and they see the giant. Like, oh, that's him, whatever, and they fall off the balcony. And then, like, as they're falling, the Iron Giant comes and saves them, and that's when the people are kind of like, oh, is this guy good? Or whatever. And then, oh, I forgot the scene where Mansley... There's so many good scenes. There's the scene where
He goes to
Mansley...
the junkyard. That the one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
like that one
Mansley calls the general because he's like, oh, like I know where the giant is or whatever, and they have the Iron Giant in like a shed or whatever, and he's posed as art, and so the general like thinks that Mansley was chasing this like art piece that Dean did, and so he gets all chewed out for it, and they start driving away, and then Mansley sees the actual giant walking around. He's like, oh no, we gotta go like kill it or whatever. So the whole like damn military comes into this small town to fight the Iron Giant, and that's when Iron Giant goes back to full battle mode and starts like screwing up these military guys. And Hogarth, oh god, there's so many. I feel like there's so many like little scenes that I'm missing.
Yeah, like
But-
when Hogarth and Mansley are like sleeping and they're watching each
Oh
other.
yeah, that's a
shit.
good one.
That's
that
probably
whole
my favorite.
montage where Mansley's like following Hogarth around, and it ends with Hogarth pouring the laxatives in his drink.
Oh no,
That's earlier.
that's not part of the
Yeah.
That's so he can get away from Mansley to
Yeah.
he's like hiding that Iron Giant somewhere or something. I don't remember what he goes to go do. Yeah, what was it? There's like a I think there's a scene where Hogarth catches up with the Iron Giant, and that's when the military comes and starts their little battle, and he's trying to get away from them.
Mm-hmm.
But then he falls out of the sky when he's flying, because he like runs and he jumps off the cliff, and then he's like, "Well, you can fly," and then they start shooting him, and he falls, and Hogarth gets unconscious, but the Iron Giant thinks he's dead, so then he goes full on rage mode and starts messing up these military guys, and that's a callback to an earlier scene with the deer, where the hunters shoot the deer.
yeah.
And he's like, "No, they killed it, whatever," and he's all sad because they killed the deer. He's like, "Don't touch it!" Alright, so then he goes full battle mode, and Mansley wants to, like, fire a nuke at the giant.
Yep.
So there's, like, this offshore, there's this offshore boat that has, like, a nuke on it. Why do you keep... Okay. There's an offshore nuke offshore boat that has this nuke on it. Stop!
What is that?
It's my messages. It's from, like, text messages. So there's this offshore boat that has this nuke on it.
I want you to put every time he said that in. I want you to
So
just...
it's offshore nuke.
yeah.
So there's
Put
this
an image
offshore
of a
nuke.
and I'll make it bigger every time he says it again.
Yeah.
So there's this offshore
Full screen now.
offshore boat has this nuke on it, and Mansley wants him to shoot the nuke at the giant, but he's in the town, so they're like, "Oh, we gotta lure him away or whatever." And then Dean and Hogarth's mom and Hogarth get there, and Hogarth's trying to explain that he's good or whatever. So Hogarth comes up when the Iron Giant's full battle mode. He's got like this giant cannon arm right in Hogarth's face. And Hogarth's, "No, you're better than this. Like, remember? Like, it's me, Hogarth." And then he turns back to regular Iron Giant. And then Dean's like, "Look, he reacts to your guns. That's why he went full rage mode." And he's like, "Alright, Mansley, we're calling it off."
Mm-hmm.
And then Mansley's like, "No, we gotta shoot the nuke now. He's bad." And then the general's like, Are you stupid?" And so Mansley steals a radio and shoots the nuke anyway. And then the general's like, Do you realize that nuke is locked onto the giant's current position? Where's the giant, Mansley? And then he's like 10 feet away.
Yeah.
Whatever. So he's like, yeah, we're all going to die. And then Mansley's like, screw that, I'm not dying. He tries to get away, but the Iron Giant stops him. And he's like, no, Mansley, you're going to die for your country. And that's when the Iron Giant's all like, well, I think I need to do something because everybody's going to die. So he activates his little rocket shoes and flies in the air. And then Hogarth tells him he loves him, which is kind of weird in my opinion, but it's okay.
Yeah, what is he? The main character of the never-ending story?
Anyway, so Iron Giant's flying into space, and the nuke's coming down.
But there's a callback line.
There's a callback line. He says... No, well, okay, there's a callback line before he flies away, where he says, you stay, I go, no following. And then Hogarth tells him that he loves him.
Yeah.
It is a sad scene, because he knows he's going to go die for them.
Yeah.
And so he launches himself into the air, and then as he's about to hit the nuke, he closes his eyes and he goes, Superman! And he blows up. And everybody lives. And Hogarth's real sad, but it's okay. And then they flash forward, and Dean and Hogarth's mom hook up.
Hell yeah.
And Dean makes a statue for the Iron Giant, and the general sends him like a little screw for his jaw that we saw earlier in the movie, as like a
the only piece of the giant they found.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
they say.
And then right at the end of the movie, the last scene, Hogarth's in bed sleeping, and the little screw starts beeping and rolls off the nightstand and tries to get out the window, because the giant's trying to reassemble himself. So he pops open the window and lets him go, and you find out that all the pieces are like in Antarctica.
Pretty much, yeah.
And they're all coming back and reassembling. So you're like, whoa, happy ending, because he blows up, but of course he can reassemble himself. We learned that earlier. So good movie for a kid.
Absolutely great movie.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
just a
still
good
love
movie
it
in
now.
general.
Yeah, it's
Well, I do. I love it
beyond
now
being a
too,
kid.
but especially nostalgia was like huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some really good scenes. There's like funny scenes. There's the heartfelt scenes.
Oh yeah, big time.
It's just, I think it's such a unique like movie. So
Yeah, it's like one of the more emotional endings of a movie that I can think of.
For sure.
well, and it's a robot that blows up.
Right.
It's like really like it's not like a kid or a family member that dies and we're all sad for it.
But
It's
he
weird.
is like he's definitely sentient, so you feel for him. Like when he's poking at the deer, that part always got me.
Yeah, he's got like emotion. And the thing is, you don't know anything about the Iron Giant. You don't know where he comes from. You don't learn anything about him.
right.
So except for I think he crash lands. I
well-
don't remember if he purposely comes to Earth, but I think he might crash land on Earth. Like
yeah.
it was an accident. I don't remember though.
There was like a flashback scene, kind of. It was done in like still images that showed other giants. I think that the Iron Giant was sleeping at one point in the movie, and he was dreaming about.
Yeah, and he has,
he
like,
was
a
dreaming
flashback.
about the other. There was like 3 giants he was dreaming about, and in his dream he winds up like starting up his gun or something, and Hogarth has to like wake him up.
Yeah, because he flashes
there-
back to his time as like a war robot.
Yeah.
Is there a different version of the movie that I haven't watched?
I don't think it's like
I don't
3
think so.
specific giants. I don't know why that was so particular, but there is. He does have like a flashback where he remembers that he was a war robot at one point.
The Iron Giant's dream. It says new scene. Anyway, that reveals a lot about the Iron Giant. Yeah. So,
So
I guess we can assume that he crash lands on Earth, and they have a fleet of them that destroy planets. But you still don't know their motivation.
Yeah.
They must have been made by somebody. You know,
A lot of mystery.
a lot of mystery. But that's good. Mystery is good. So
He reminds me of the Predator.
Yeah. We need.
Even down to the fact where it's like, if you have a weapon, he's gonna kill you.
Remember that time that Predator made a friend with Hogarth, that kid in that movie, and he turns
yeah.
good.
What?
Maybe an AVP.
At first I thought he was dropping a Predator 2 reference to that kid who's like, want some candy?
No.
But then it wasn't.
What do you think, Dalton?
Of the Iron Giant?
Oh, he's actually here. He made it.
He sat quietly for I watched him.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to talk because I didn't want to spoil it quite yet.
There he is.
I haven't seen it in a really long time, but...
Obviously, neither had I, because I was
Yeah,
like, I know everything
I
about
was
this
so
movie.
impressed. Holy cow, you remembered a lot about that movie.
I remember a ton about it, but then again, I did watch it fairly
I couldn't
recently.
remember all the like in order scenes. And
Yeah.
then, like I know I'd missed some stuff, so I had to go back. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of scenes that like I just enjoy that aren't important. Like the lake scene's not important. It just kind of helps build
It's-
the relationship.
Yeah, I just enjoy that. From
Well, it is a good. Yeah, it's a good scene.
I love saying
There's
that.
there's scenes that aren't necessarily like really important, but wait, Jennifer Aniston did Annie Hughes? I don't
Mhm.
remember that.
I don't
Papa
know.
Bless,
Is
Vin
Annie the
Diesel
mom?
was in it.
I
Groot himself.
did not remember that Jennifer Aniston was.
I think Vin Diesel does the best animated characters that don't have to say many lines.
Groot and Iron Giant.
Yeah, and the guy from Fast and the Furious, probably.
Probably.
I can't imagine that guy has a lot to say.
Yeah, but he says like
All of his lines are in the
"We're a
trailers.
Family, remember? This is a family. And then remember when they had that one where they were like, "How could you go against your family?" And then the trailer, he was the bad guy, but probably in the movie he wasn't.
Whoa. This just announced Fast and the Furious podcast coming tomorrow.
Oh,
No, not happening.
It says, excluding the yells and groans, the Iron Giant only says a total of 53 words.
Groot says a
God
total
bless
of
you.
I
40.
stay, you go, no following.
I am
That's
Groot.
6.
We.
Superman, like 10 times. Tree and Rock, like 2 times each at least.
There you go. That's you could practically memorize all of his lines.
53 words. I wonder what they include. I don't remember what.
Probably
So-
a couple F words in there.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He's got
Iron
a couple.
Giant. He's got a potty mouth for sure.
He's just slinging.
He says
the N-word
Rockwell.
twice.
I was gonna say that, but then I didn't want to.
So, Alex, what specifically about this movie is the reason that you're thankful for it?
A specific reason?
Yeah. Like, why this above
well,
any
I
other
mean-
movie you could have picked? Like,
I'm thankful because it was a big part of my childhood. It was, like the one movie I enjoyed watching when I was sick because, like, at that time, like, when I was in elementary school, we had this tiny little, like, VHS TV that we would lug into our rooms when we were sick so we could just, like, lay in bed and watch the VHSs that we had. And I don't remember how many VHSs we had, but I remember we had, like, 2 Muppets ones and the Iron Giant and, like, a few other ones that were, like, Disney movies. And I just always enjoyed watching the Iron Giant and then, like, watching it again and again, like, on DVD and whatever. Like, it just reminds me of how good of a movie it was and how much I enjoyed it. And it always felt like I was the only one who had ever watched it, because like it wasn't a movie that everybody talked about because it wasn't a Disney movie like everybody talks about normally. So I always felt like the only kid that had ever seen it. And then I felt like as I grew older, a lot of people like had watched it and really loved it, but they never really talked about it as
Right.
kids. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I was definitely a Toy Story boy. Those
That's
first
fair,
Two,
it's fair.
First 2 Toy
I
Story
enjoyed Toy
movies,
Story.
they were like my bread and butter. That's the shit that I would watch. But Iron Giant was definitely heavily in the mix of things I watched as a kid. Than probably some like old Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah, this is like the
That's
only
like
animated
it.
movie I can remember watching as a kid that I liked.
This was probably your favorite one for sure. I feel like that
Yeah.
part where he's eating the Transformer.
Yeah, because I was gonna
like
say
that was the big part for you.
because our aunt lived right next to a big power station like that, and every time we'd go up there, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, Iron Giant,"
Oh yeah.
and I was always in the mood for Iron Giant whenever I saw that place. Yeah.
Do you
No,
know-
because I was never that big into Toy Story or any of those movies like you guys were. But
You were
Iron
pretty much
Giant-
Fox and the Hound, Aristocrats,
I remember
and
Fox and the
Iron
Hound.
Iron Giant. That was like those were the 3 animated that you always wanted to
up
watch.
until the fateful year 2006 or 5, whenever Ben 10 came out, and then everything changed.
do you guys know what the budget and everything for this movie was?
$362.
The budget was
It's Halloween.
Total.
the budget is estimated to be $70 million.
Opening
Opening
close.
opening weekend in the U.S. was $5 million.
Ooh, it did not
Big
do well.
oof.
Gross U.S. It says as of the 21st of November 1999 was $23 million. Cumulative worldwide gross was $80 million.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. if
It's
you think
really
about it.
interesting.
I knew
It
that
really
this movie-
that's not a huge success.
It's not. I knew that this movie was like.
It kind of flew under the radar.
radar.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but it has like the people who saw it really liked it, but no one went to see it.
It's funny. It's like a kids movie that's like got a cult fan base almost.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But it's weird because it's a kids movie.
I do think that I've heard that they're planning on remaking it,
I
and
heard
Vin
that
Diesel's
too.
gonna provide the voice of the giant again.
I don't
I
know
thought I
why
had heard
you'd need to
rumors,
remake
but-
it.
Yeah, I don't. I wish they wouldn't.
I was gonna say. 'cause
I say give us a
sometimes-
prequel
Give
and
us
a
a
sequel
prequel,
in
yeah.
one movie. The first half is what happens before, and the second half is
No,
the
you do
Iron
it the other
Giant
way
making his way
around.
back
The
to
first
Hobart.
half would be what happens afterward, and then like along the way he'd have flashbacks to what happens before.
No, please, for the love of God, don't make that movie. I don't need a goddamn
I don't need it.
prequel for every movie that's
I
ever
don't need
existed.
a remake for every movie that's ever existed.
No, I agree. I think don't touch this goddamn movie. It's perfect. Leave it alone.
They need to learn how to remake bad movies to make them good, not remake good movies to make them bad.
So now I'm torn because I want to go to Derek because his has to do
With the Iron
with the Iron
Giant.
Giant a little bit. But to keep things in alphabetical order, let's hear Dalton's. What?
Alphabetical order.
Alex.
D.A.
Dalton.
Oh, I thought you were
Derek,
talking about the
Kyle.
movie title. I was so confused.
I think mine would have gone first in that case. But yeah, Dalton, what movie are you thankful for?
I chose Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yes, you did.
I'm
we all
disappointed
knew
in
it.
you.
Why?
We all knew it.
I didn't know it. I thought you were gonna pick First Avenger, Captain America, the first.
Yeah,
Avenger.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna pick that, and I would have been like, "Hey, I finally have an excuse to watch that movie because I've never seen it before."
You haven't seen that movie before?
Not all the way through.
That
But
would've been terrible.
but you picked Winter Soldier.
I love this one.
I always just enjoyed the second one more than the first one.
It's better.
It is better.
The first one was so boring.
The first one had its ups and downs for sure, but some of the
No, it
CGI
had
was
its
whack.
downs. It had its downs.
See,
first
that's
one-
why I didn't choose the first Avenger
Like,
because
no
I knew we'd argue the entire time.
It's
That's-
a bad movie.
It's okay. We did that for the whole last episode.
Yeah, argued
Yeah,
about
great.
Spider-Man. But
Still not the best.
I could have seen you taking Infinity War.
Those were
my.
my two.
I was thinking he'd pick Infinity War too.
It was between those two for sure. Do you guys want like a little synopsis?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go super. You don't
Yeah.
have to do scene by scene if you don't want to. But
Yeah.
general overview of what the movie's about, what happens in it.
Basically, it is Captain America getting used to the change of after being frozen for 70 years, and then so in the first one he beats Hydra. Let's just say that we think he beats Red Skull. Hydra's gone, but no, not really. So yeah, it's basically him getting back into the swing of things after the first Avengers movie. Still learning a lot about technologies and stuff that
Can I just
are
say,
in the.
my biggest problem with this movie comes from the fact that Captain America in Captain America is pretty cool. Not that cool, but he's all right. He's not like a goober, right?
He totally was. If I were to describe Steve Rogers from the first Captain America
Okay.
movie, goober comes to mind. Are you kidding me?
All right, I guess
he was the scrawny little goober at the beginning, and then
I've
he was the
seen-
guy that danced on stage with his little shield. Goober.
Okay, for that movie, I've seen up until he's dancing on stage and he punches Hitler. I've seen all through there, and then I've seen the last 30 minutes. So there's a portion in the middle that I haven't seen, but I remembered him not being that big of a goober.
You've literally
In
only
the
seen
Avengers.
the goober parts. That portion in the middle that you're missing is the non-goober Captain America.
In the Avengers, he's a bit of a goober. That's how I describe him, because he's like, oh, I don't know what anything is. Oh, what's going? He's just he's kind of
He understands that reference.
He's kind of a lame.
Yeah.
He's pretty lame in the first Avengers, and then you get to Winter Soldier, and out of nowhere, he's a total badass.
Yeah.
He's awesome. It's like I'm so glad they did it because they made Captain America awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like this is not the same loser who we watched in the Avengers.
Well, good God. I hated him in the first two movies, and then you get to this one. I was kind of predisposed to not want to watch this movie because I was like, God, the first Captain America movie was so boring. And then he was in the Avengers, and he was definitely the goober.
He was
and then
the
we get to
goober of
Winter
the group.
Soldier.
He was like super uptight in the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like, he was just like, you have to follow all the rules, and it did get annoying. I was like, seriously? I was like, I get it, but
Yeah.
like...
He was the Infinity War Bruce Banner of the first Avengers. That's how you could describe Captain America. Because when
Yeah,
you get to
okay.
Infinity War, Captain America's still his Winter Soldier self. Meanwhile, you got goober Bruce Banner out of nowhere.
And I think that's part of the reason why I chose Winter Soldier is because it's Captain America's turning point.
For
from
sure.
Certainly.
kind of lame to a complete badass.
Yeah. I was just going to say, my biggest problem with the movie is that it doesn't feel like the same character we've been watching, but at the same time, it's not really that much
It's a
of
welcome
problem,
change.
Because I'm so glad that he's not the same loser we've been watching.
All right, go ahead and tell us what the movie's about.
Right, so a little context. First movie happens, his friend Bucky dies, supposedly.
A fact that I did not track. So I was
So-
real lost while watching The Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
for the
so
first
he
time.
falls
I
off
picked up
a
on it.
train in that one, and there's a whole story behind what Cap does, and yeah. But anyways, second one comes along. He goes his first mission that we see. He's on a boat trying to save other Shield operatives and people from there, and so he's kicking ass. And
It's a cool scene.
at that time, it is a really cool scene. His stealth suit is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really liked that suit. It's not like Avengers, the first Avengers.
That is the worst
where
suit.
it's just like,
So
oh,
stupid.
it's...
And his
Yeah.
helmet looks so bad.
That's why I liked that fight on the boat, because he takes it off at the end, and I was like, oh man, he looks so
Captain
badass
America
right
in
now.
his helmet always looks stupid to me.
I
But
think-
as soon as he takes it off, I'm like, yeah.
I think
go
that's a
kick
part
ass.
of the reason why they did that in Infinity War.
Yeah.
They're just like,
He doesn't...
Enough-
make his hair,
enough
grow his
damn
hair out,
helmet.
I like,
give
I
him
like
a beard.
his helmet in
No
this
movie ever,
movie.
'cause
I like
it's
it,
stupid.
I like it
Yeah,
in
it
Winter
wasn't-
Soldier and in Civil War. I think it's only bad in the others.
I agree with that.
Chris Evans has... That's the right one. Chris Evans, yeah.
Chris Evans.
He's got too good of a face to hide behind that little dumb mask. It's like a bald cap. It looks so stupid. I hate
I
it.
just don't like when it doesn't have a chin strap. It makes him look goofy.
No, that's even worse. It's like the kids that
I just
rode their
said that
bike
was
with,
worse.
Oh, I thought you said you don't like when it doesn't have the chin strap.
I don't like when it does.
No, the chin strap's stupid.
No,
I
when-
hate the chin strap.
In Avengers, when it's just like it opens at his neck and then comes around his, there's nothing around his chin. It looks silly.
No.
That's why he's goober Captain America, is because he's.
Anyways, so Dalton, what's this movie about?
So he's going in to save the Shield people, and then at that time, Black Widow's stealing data from the ship, and it starts a huge controversy whether it's to cover their asses or if it's an actual bad guy situation.
Right, to like actually save the people.
Exactly.
He fights Jumping Jack too.
Jumping Jack, God bless. Who even knows his name? Good
I
Lord.
did.
Yeah, I didn't even know his
You
name.
know
I
the
just knew
guy-
it was the guy who's like, I thought you were not just the Shield.
Yeah, I think he's called Jumping Jack. Doesn't he?
He
jump
jumps
a
and
lot?
kicks a lot, yeah.
Captain Kangaroo, we'll call him.
All
I
right.
think he's called Jumping Jack.
Captain Kangaroo.
So yeah, Captain America gets all pissed off that there was another mission within his mission
That he didn't know about.
that he didn't know about. So that's like the first layer of problems. Is Cap's trust in Shield is already getting lower,
Right.
and
We
then
have layers.
yeah, there's layers. In this
It's like an
movie.
ogre.
They're remaking that movie. Did you guys hear about that? They're
Yeah, by the
rebooting Shrek.
Minions
This
guys.
isn't about the ogre.
I was just tying in, jeez. But
Mentioned it. You brought him up.
But I didn't continue the conversation.
so
Remember when Donkey married the dragon?
I'm changing the movie that I'm thankful for to Shrek 4.
Shrek 4 of all of them.
I hope y'all know it well enough to talk about.
I do.
I don't.
I jumped ship after Shrek the Third.
I mean, I watched 4, but
I watched it once. I got the McDonald's toys or Burger King toys of it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
surprise announcement, tomorrow's episode is the Shrek franchise.
And we're doing the
Fast and Furious franchise.
Gonna be a long day, boys. And then Nick Fury shows him all the helicarriers they have in like the basement of the building, and that also concerns Cap because they're trying to stop something that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, so
and
the
he's
idea
worried
is
that innocent people are gonna die.
they're surveilling people for potential threats
Exactly.
to eliminate them before they become threats.
Exactly. Then it keeps progressing,
Then
and
the
then
movie happens, and it's just like crazy.
yeah, it's pretty nuts. We get to a part where Nick Fury's in a car, he's driving away, and that's when the cops start attacking him, and then he goes through that entire fight, and then he gets screwed up pretty bad, and then at the very end of it, we get introduced to the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Gets roasted by the Winter Soldier.
And yeah, he barely gets out of there, and then Nick Fury's all messed up, goes to Cap's apartment, and then he gets shot by the Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. That's also a really cool scene after that when Cap's chasing him through the buildings. He's just breaking walls, breaking doors, and then he throws the shield, and then the Winter Soldier catches it.
Yeah. Winter Soldier should have had a beard in this movie. Because when he takes that mask off, I'm like, you look like a little boy.
Yeah, it is kind of weird with
with
this.
that.
I thought it was a little
actually,
weird.
In the theaters, was disappointed in the movie and decided I didn't like it once he took the mask off.
Yeah, that was the end right
It took
there.
until I saw the movie again to be like, I'm okay with it. I still think he's got a baby face, but I'm okay with it.
Kyle says he doesn't mind the little boy's face.
What?
Oh, I'm the pedophile now.
I just wanted to move myself away from the pedophilic comments. All right.
I just wanted to get to, I don't remember where we left off. Oh, pedophiles.
Yeah.
What?
Jumping back into Dalton.
Yeah, we went from Captain America to pedophiles real fast.
Because I'm apparently okay with Bucky looking like a little kid.
I just thought it looked a little
out of context and make Kyle say I'm okay with like Bucky as a little kid.
All right.
Back
to the Winter Soldier.
So he catches the shield.
Yeah,
He catches the shield, and by that point in the movie, we know that Shield's compromised and isn't Shield, and actually it's Hydra now. So we know that
Plot twist.
Say it.
exactly. Hail Hydra.
There you go.
There we go. You're welcome. So yeah, Shield's compromised. Cap is by himself with. Well, I guess he's got Black Widow. They're figuring out everything about how Hydra's actually been in S.H.I.E.L.D. since Cap got frozen. And it goes through that whole thing.
How did you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
No.
No, damn it.
No one watches that.
I was going to say,
shit.
how the hell does that... Is there like a section of S.H.I.E.L.D. that's like... A big section that's like, oh, what, Hydra's here? How they're supposed to be the world's greatest intelligence. How did they not figure that out in 60 years?
Well, it's because they've been embedded in them for so long, is what I would
They
assume.
slowly weave themselves in.
Yeah.
Started out with one undercover guy.
Even Nick Fury got himself duped pretty hard.
Right.
Yes.
This keeps getting so off topic that I keep forgetting about
He
the
catches
movie.
the shield.
Catches the shield. I'm not gonna go scene by scene. We'll skip forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you skipped the part with the motorcycle.
Where he flips
Where he
on.
drives it.
Jesus Christ.
Where he's driving to his apartment.
All the viewers have left
Yeah.
by this point.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll skip towards the end. The helicarriers get launched and they start targeting everyone, like Tony Stark gets targeted, Bruce Banner, Doctor Strange
out of nowhere.
does.
Somehow they predicted that he'd be in a car crash, get magical powers. Like, excuse me, Hydra, what the fuck?
Well,
how does that happen?
Yeah, I didn't
Because they
understand.
could pick up potential threats. They're like, he potentially will probably become a magic wizard.
Yeah, Jesus. Potentially.
So yeah, that happens. Cap knows that the Winter Soldier is actually Bucky from the first movie.
Yeah, that's the coolest scene of the movie, though, when he finds out.
Bucky?
And they're in that fist-to-fist in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Best fight choreography of most MCU movies.
Of
Yeah,
all
it was-
MCU
it was-
movies.
it
Are
was
you kidding
really
me?
good.
Battle
Yeah.
on Titan's better.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Say it.
It's not better.
Say it.
Agree with me.
It's not.
But yeah, long story short, the helicarriers get launched. Oh, I forgot about Falcon. Falcon's in the movie
yeah,
You
he is
didn't
too.
forget about Falcon.
Poor Falcon.
And you forgot about the elevator scene.
Oh yeah, the elevator scene. That's like one of my favorite parts. It's a great part of the
Yeah.
movie. It's like everyone's favorite though, so I assume that like
You all know what we're talking
yeah.
about.
Helicarriers get launched.
And Falcon's in the movie at this point.
Falcon's disabled wingsuit
He's
at that
already
point because the
disabled.
Winter Soldier messed him up.
They have to get around to each of the 3 helicarriers to disrupt their signal, so that
Right.
rather than firing on the potential threats,
They'll fire at
they
each other.
kill the- yeah,
They
kill
have those
each
like
other.
chips that they have to sort through
Just
all of them.
Work through it.
Work through it. All right. Yeah. So Cap goes on to the last one that they have to do, and then him and Winter Soldier are fighting like the entire time, and Cap gets shot 3 times. I'm pretty sure.
He gets shot.
A hefty amount of damage.
Yeah, and he gets the
number of
last
shots
chip
is
in.
important.
He gets.
Much like the number of Iron Giants.
I didn't look it up to count the number of Iron Giants in the scene.
I
I'd
could've
never
sworn
seen
I'd
the scene
seen
before.
3.
Kyle,
Alright.
and there were 3, so specific. Anyways,
Bucky and Cap fight. They helicarriers start blowing each other up, and then Cap saves Bucky. Bucky kicks his ass a little more, or Bucky kicks Cap's ass a little more, and then Cap falls out of the helicopter. The helicopter or the helicarrier.
Helicarrier,
Sorry,
Jesus.
see that?
hello, something was flying.
It was in the air. Saves him, and then it opens up to them trying to search for him at the end of the movie.
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
He drops his shield into the ocean. Yes, right?
It's like a
Like a lake
It's like a
kind of thing.
lake.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
gonna say, how does he get that back?
Yeah.
Because that always confused me.
Yeah, it's just
Metal
a little
detector.
lake.
It's way down there.
It's like when they found Wolverine in the lake in
Yeah,
Apocalypse.
that movie sucks.
Yeah, it does.
But that's also not an apocalypse. That happens in Days of Future Past.
So, what specifically? Why are you thankful for this one? More than the rest.
Well, Captain America's always been my favorite Marvel superhero.
Fucking somehow.
Fucking Superman. Anyways.
I mean, I don't know what situation a human being walked out of Captain America: The First Avenger and was like, "Yeah, he's my favorite," but somehow Dalton did it. He
that
walked
wasn't
out.
why. It wasn't the first movie. I'd seen the comics about him, and I
Ugh.
knew
Oh,
who
and
he
you
was
know,
before. I liked him then.
He watched cartoons, right? You watched cartoons?
Yeah.
And remember Ultimate Avengers? He's pretty cool in that show. That cartoon.
No, I don't. I don't remember.
That's
it.
one where Thor picks up Mjolnir, Stormbreaker, and just... Or Hulk picks it up and just whaps Thor in the head with it.
The movie had good direction. I thought it had very good action scenes. Some of the best fights in all
the
of
best
the Marvel.
in all of
yes.
MCU.
Yeah, right after
Those hand-to-hand fights
Infinity
are so
War
badass.
and Avengers 1 and
No.
a couple others.
The only one that I will say might be better,
Doctor Strange.
no, is Thor Ragnarok, Hulk versus Thor. I think that's also a badass scene. But I
That
still
was a
think,
good scene, yeah.
as like actual action choreography goes, this is like by far the coolest in the MCU because it's not just a bunch of like Iron Man repulsors or 2 big CGI
Yeah,
monsters
it's
battling
actually
each other. It's like
hand-to-hand.
actual hand-to-hand
Yeah.
fist fighting, and it's so cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you know that Chris Evans can do a lot of these stunts?
Yeah.
There's a video of him on Instagram that's like floating around now of him during Age of Ultron.
And he does
Where
that like
he
the
does
flip thing,
he
yeah.
does 5 flips in the air.
It's
pretty
in the
insane.
slow. He's talking about the slow mo shot in the movie, and they're going slow mo, and he like does like a spin in the air, and
He
he,
does a
punches
spin
down on
flip
one of
and
the
then
Ultron
smashes
bots.
Ultron.
pretend like I can remember.
It's during.
Yeah.
It's when they're all in that big like.
They're in that
circle,
like
in the
church
end.
area at
Yeah.
the end. Yeah.
and like all the Ultron bots are flying around.
Yeah,
and, like,
I mean,
big
I can picture the
battles.
scene. I can't specifically remember the
But yeah,
stuff, but
that's another reason.
Pretty
They're
cool.
doing their own stunts. I thought it was awesome.
yeah. So initially, for me, when I watched this movie, I hated it because I was like, more Captain America. He's still boring.
And Bucky had a baby face.
I was like, I don't get.
No, you like that part.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I left enjoying. I was like, more babyface. No, I didn't connect that Bucky was in the first Captain America movie at all. I mean, they spell it out for
Yeah,
you,
I was gonna
but
say.
I didn't pay any attention to like Captain America. I watched the movie and I was like just bored through the whole thing, so I didn't memorize any
Yeah.
of the characters outside of Captain America. Like, for God's sake, I didn't even remember that Tommy Lee Jones is in the movie, who's like a major actor. Can you even remember him in the first Captain America movie?
He's the general.
Yeah, he's the general.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
I
it
never
shocks
even
me every time.
I had never even seen Captain America: The First Avenger all the way through when I went into this movie, and I still knew that Bucky was the guy from the first one.
I feel like you were more into like YouTube explanation videos than I was, so you
I
got
still am.
information that I didn't. So I went in there and I didn't get it, and I didn't get all the emotional impacts of him fighting Bucky, and the whole Shield as Hydra thing was stupid to me at the time. And it took until like last year when I was marathoning the MCU movies for Infinity War that I actually watched it, and I was like, man, this movie is like way more badass than I give it credit for. And Captain America's cooler than I gave him credit for. He's still not my favorite, but he's better than Iron Man. So
Sounds like there's some controversy on this one.
oh yeah.
Civil War is going to be our next topic.
Tune in tomorrow.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious, the entirety of the MCU, because we may as well get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Shrek,
And whatever else comes next.
Ghost Hunters.
Okay. You just like look in the shelf for a movie to call out.
Yeah, and I saw Ghost Hunters.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, so I think that this is a good movie.
I agree.
Derek, up to you.
Derek's movie,
Is
Ready Player One, from this year, 2018.
forget that it's a 2018 movie because it came out in
the summer.
January.
No, it didn't. It came out in the summer.
Did it really?
What?
Beginning of summer.
No way.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, it
No
did.
way.
Because alright, I bought the book. during
all
the
of us
school year last
googling
year.
this shit right now.
It came out. It either came out at the beginning of summer. It came out.
in like February.
It came out in like March. It came out in March. Definitively came out in March. Because it came out right around the time of Pacific Rim Uprising, which came out in March.
March 29th.
Hell yeah.
There you go. That's still the beginning of the year. I mean, we're at the like.
It's like
very end of
halfway
the year,
through
too.
summer too.
Halfway through.
It's halfway
summer?
through. It's halfway between summer and.
It's like beginning of
and the start of the
spring.
year.
It's like beginning of spring.
Yeah, but it's in terms of school year. It's halfway between the second semester start and summer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, I picked this movie right because the book. I bought the book and I read the book.
In anticipation for the movie.
Right, in anticipation for the movie. I read it, and then I got the audiobook right after. And the audiobook, narrated by Will Wheaton, listened to that a couple times. Because I was super excited for Ready Player One. And then the movie came out, and I saw it, and I was disappointed because the book is better. And then I saw it again, and I was not disappointed because I was like, no, this movie's awesome. The movie takes place not that far in the future, like 2050 or something like that. The overpopulation has made it to where there's mass poverty and everyone's forced to live. Not everyone, but the majority of people are living in like trailer parks that are stacked on top of each other. And their only escape from their boring, bland world is this VR system called the Oasis that was created by this guy named James Halliday, who died, and when he died, he left a challenge to, if you could complete his 3 challenges in the Oasis, his 3 Easter eggs, then you would become the owner of the oasis and inherit his mass wealth and fortune. He was like the richest person to ever exist. So then everyone is competing in the oasis to try and become the next owner. And your main character's Wade Wilson, who plays as Parzival, and he meets his friend H.
Wade Wilson.
Is that not his name?
That's Deadpool.
Did I say Wade Wilson?
Yeah, you said Wade
Wade
Wilson.
Watts. His name's Wade Watts.
Yeah, that's it.
I was like, I listened you say Wade Wilson, and I was like, yeah, his name's Wade, but Wilson
Yeah.
sounds like someone else.
Wade Watts. All right. Well, because it's the same idea. He's even named after characters like Wade Wilson. That's
Yeah.
like why he has his name. But
Because didn't he say that his dad or something thought it sounded like
as
a...
superheroes.
Yeah.
He's like, because they all have
Peter Parker, Bruce
alliteration in their
Banner.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So Wade Watts.
Yeah.
And he plays as Parzival. His friend is H, whose real name is Helen. And then there's Artemis, whose real name is Samantha. And then there's Daito and Shoto, who have real names as well. I don't remember what they are.
I'm looking at IMDb right now. It doesn't say anything.
Not in the movie.
I don't know.
I don't think they are.
Yeah.
No, they do. They do for Daito, but I forget what he said.
I don't
It's not
remember.
important. Anyway.
Yeah, so there's this first challenge. The first way you get a key for the Easter egg is it's a big, huge race that has all your favorites in it. It's got King Kong, Jurassic Park.
Back to the Future DeLorean.
Well, that's one of the cars, but like the course itself has got like it takes place in RoboCop City, and it's got reference to Last Action Hero, and everyone's driving cars that are like Easter egg cars. Like you got Batman 60s driving around in there, and
the 18.
the main character drives the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and like they have all this cool stuff. And then there's all these Sixers, which is like owned by a company who's trying to take over the Oasis or trying to win. And Wade figures out that if you drive backwards, you don't have to go through the obstacles.
Now, I'm not so sure about this one because I feel like
It would be too easy to figure out.
Yeah,
I would have figured that out on accident.
Yeah, I feel like some idiot would have just been like, "Oh, what happens if I go backwards?" and he would have found it. But it wasn't so big that it really bugged me. But
Yeah.
when I learned about it, I was like, I feel like somebody would have just done that without finding
Right.
a clue for it.
And
But,
that's my biggest problem with the movie is it's dumbed down from the way it was in the book. Like in the book, the race isn't even present at all.
oh, really?
So it's like they dumbed all the challenges down because they need to make it more cinematic. But at the same time,
2-hour-long movie.
Yeah, and fit it into a 2-hour-long movie. But at the same time, you kind of make it so your characters aren't smart anymore. Now they're just like figuring kind of normal things out that it wouldn't be that impossible to figure out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he goes backwards. He gets the key. 5 more people get the keys before the bad guy corporation figures it out, and then they start to get the keys. So then it's a race who can get the keys fastest. Then they go to. They figure out that like, the guy. The guy who created the Oasis, he was in love with this girl called Kira, who's the co-founder of the Oasis' wife, and so they're like, so then there's something to do with a date. The next challenge must be you have to figure out what his next step was in the date, and so then they go to like this dance club, this like zero gravity dance club, and there's a big shootout that happens there when the bad guys show up. And then they go. Should I just wait?
Yeah, give it a second.
Jesus. What?
It's just
We need a new setup.
annoying. Yeah, we might need to just start doing this in my room from now on.
I'm scrolling through 300 photos from the movie.
Did you not watch it?
No, I did.
Did you?
Huh?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
What movie is this?
Ready Player 3? Or something?
No, that's the third one in the trilogy.
How could I make that comment about the driving backwards if I haven't seen it?
Good point. Well, because you said when I found out, so I thought that meant you like Wikipedia'd it.
Oh no.
That's where I go for my plot synopsis. This is Wikipedia.
Or I'm just reading some guy's issues with it. And I'm
Yeah,
just, like,
I couldn't believe
claiming
that.
it as my own.
So then, there's a big shootout at the Distracted Globe, which is their zero gravity dance club.
It's a terrible picture ever.
And then they figure out, you have to go to the movie that he took his girlfriend on a date to, and you have to go to that movie, and then you have to figure out what to do next. So then they wind up inside of the movie The Shining, which is like 100% recreated from the movie The Shining.
I noticed that it looked like exact. It was
crazy. So then they're there, which is probably arguably the best sequence of the movie.
Yeah.
When they're going through the Shining challenge and you're like running into all the Easter eggs from the movie.
Even though, like, fun fact, Derek and I both hate the Shining movie.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think that it's not that good. It's overrated. But it's still really cool to see them revisit the location.
For sure.
So then they go through the Shining challenge. They figure it out. You have to dance with Kira in the ballroom. They get the next key. But before they can get the key after that, the Sixers find out where the location of it is, and they lock it down by creating a big portal, like a big force field around this castle on a planet called Doom. Now all the Gunters, what the Easter egg hunters are called, now all the Gunters have to team up together to fight the Sixers, and a big war happens in order to get Parzival to the key to the gate so that he can beat the game and inherit the Oasis. And then you got all your favorite characters in there. Like the Iron Giant shows up and he's fighting Mechagodzilla, and a Gundam comes in and is also fighting Mechagodzilla. You got loads of other characters from like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Everyone's in here.
Let's name them all, shall we?
Everyone's in here.
I enjoyed watching this and seeing all the different like characters like running through the.
Like the little
That's like
avatars.
that's kind of the most fun part of the movie.
There's like the Spartans from Halo, and then the Ninja Turtles, and there was all kinds of stuff.
Chucky's in there.
Chucky.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the movie. It's like going and watching it to try and find all the Easter eggs you can.
Yeah, big time.
And that's what it was made
Terminator
for.
reference.
It was like straight up.
That's
yeah.
a picture
That
from
is,
the
yeah,
Terminator,
but,
though.
yeah.
But yeah, the Iron Giant's hand.
That just reminded me of it.
Love that.
Yeah, the movie is basically made as like a challenge, because the movie itself, the plot is a challenge to get the Easter eggs. So then when you watch the movie, Steven Spielberg directed, it's basically like he's challenging you. Can you beat the Easter egg too? Can you get all the Easter eggs? So then Parzival figures out that you have to play this game Adventure from Atari, and he figures out that it's the game with the first Easter egg ever, and he knows how to beat it.
Well, don't the Sixers figure that out?
The Sixers figure out that it's the game Adventure, but they can't figure out how to get the Easter egg, so they just beat the game and they wind up dying. The bomb goes off, the Annihilus, because your bad guy Sorrento blows it up. And he gets the bomb from the best character in the movie, which is IROC, played by T.J. Miller. And so then he blows up the bomb, kills everyone on the planet, and Parzival has a respawn. He's the only person in the game who has a respawn because he has this coin that he got earlier. He beats it. He wins the Oasis. Now in the real world, he owns it. The day is saved, and Sorrento goes to jail for trying to murder a kid in real life. And that's the movie.
Yeah, good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best part was like the little stuff where you notice like the settings, or like the Shining thing. That might not necessarily be like a small part,
right?
But like the characters and all the other stuff. You're like, and they didn't just do it to piggyback off of the fame of the other stuff. Because honestly, if you're in a world like that and you make a character,
you would be them.
You're gonna make a character.
Be Captain America.
Exactly.
Honestly, I take issue with the fact that the 5 main characters made their own avatars, because I would in what world do you get into a game like that and you're like, I'm gonna play as me, but blue?
The reason
I'm gonna be anybody.
The reason that your main characters do that and it's not necessarily spelled out in the movie, is because they want to. It's like they want to become a celebrity, right? When they win, when they're winning, they want to be known as them. So it's not like, yeah, Captain America got the next key. They're like, no, Parzival got the key. So they want to. They want to be different than the others.
But I think not everybody wants to be a different character. They want to have their own.
Yeah,
character.
I'm sure some people would. But...
Yeah, and Daito and Shoto like pick theirs specifically because Daito and Shoto are the names of samurai swords, and they both picked samurais so that it was like a thing they could do together. And you know, you I guess you could pick like, oh, I'd be Bruce Lee and you can be Jackie Chan, but that's not the same.
Sure.
So when you die, you zero out. Yeah.
When you die, reset. You have to make a new character.
You have to make a new one.
Yeah.
I feel like I would pick a character to play as for about a week and then kill myself and pick a character to play as, just so I could be everybody that I ever wanted to be.
But the other thing is you can like change your skin, because like you start the movie and he's got that goofy haircut, and then he changes into the one that he stays as, and like they turn him into Clark Kent at one point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the disguise.
Yeah,
thing,
and
she's dressed up as
she's dressed as a Mortal Kombat character.
What is it? It's like
Gorgo.
Gorgo's a
Goro, isn't it just Goro?
Goro. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, so like
wait, no.
Gold Resource Corporation.
Yeah, it's Goro.
Yeah,
Goro.
you can change it, but and then like obviously you can build your own mechs, such as like the Iron Giant. I don't know why everyone wouldn't be running around, because I guess it's like you have to be good at programming to figure out how to build it. But like once you sit down and go, okay, what I want is to win this game, so I'm like, wouldn't you build a Mechagodzilla like he does?
Yeah.
Like his isn't one that he won. His is straight one of the ones that they built.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and he's got an entire
And yeah, he's got a whole catalog of them too.
Yeah. Well.
But I guess like one of the problems I have with the movie is in the end, they kill Sorrento by blowing him up with a mad ball when he's in Mechagodzilla, and then he shows up 5 seconds later. So it takes away the impact of Parzival being the only one with a respawn, because that implies that Sorrento also had one. But other than that, I thought this movie's great.
I don't really remember that.
Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, I know.
Oh no, yeah. I remember now.
Did
That's
he
right.
like full on zero out though?
Yeah.
Well, he's inside the head, and the head blows up, and then you see it fall and explode. So yeah, he'd die.
Unless somehow he
and even
got out.
like even H dies when he's in when she's in the Iron Giant.
Yeah.
But
that's where you get the Terminator reference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was good.
And the music in this movie is awesome, because it's got soundtracks from a whole bunch of other movies mixed in.
All those Back to the Future music cues are my favorite.
And it's got Godzilla's theme song and King Kong's theme song in there, and some songs from The Shining play.
Oh yeah.
It's done by Alan Silvestri, soundtrack, who also did Avengers. And if you listen to this soundtrack back to back with Infinity War soundtrack, you will literally not be able to tell which song belongs to which movie unless you hear a Back to the Future cue or the Avengers theme song start.
Right.
Otherwise, it's the same soundtrack, and I don't have a problem with that.
Wait, hold on. When you mentioned the thing where Sorrento should have been zeroed out,
right.
I literally just found this thing that
Did they
says something
explain
about it. Well, here's what it says. It says that when the catalyst goes off, everyone dies, and then we see a glimpse of the big scoreboard being updated. Number 3 on the scoreboard is Sorrento with 2 keys and 124,000 points, even though he should have been zeroed out when Artemis blew him up along with the Mechagodzilla. The explanation is clearly implied, since we know that Sorrento never actually won any key. He had a bunch of his Sixers do the work and then took the keys and points from them, either by ordering or killing them. He must have done it again after being zeroed out, so he would be the one to open the final door and get the egg the moment another Sixer got the 3rd key.
I guess there you go.
This explanation is further evidenced by the fact that numbers 4 and 5 on the board are Sixers, and they have exactly the same score as Sorrento, implying that they are simply copying each other.
Yeah, and
but the issue is he keeps the big world destroyer. When he zeroes out,
he gets that from IROC.
Oh,
but
that's right. Yeah,
but. Yeah, and I guess because it has like a facial recognition, because you see it scan their face right when they log in, which is why when Artemis logs in from a Sixer from the Sixers warehouse, she still winds up as her character, despite logging in from somewhere different. So I guess that would make sense. It just scans his face and it's like, oh yeah, would you like to continue or whatever? Would you like your same avatar? He probably just did. Yep. Mm-hmm. I guess that would work.
But yeah, I mean, they don't explain it in the movie, really. They just expect you to kind of guess, so, yeah.
I don't know. I think this movie's like a great... It's kind of like it's like a family-friendly movie. It's not like you're going to go watch it and be like, I can't watch this with my mom. Mm-hmm. So I think it's like a great family movie, but I also like watching it just to find all the Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm. I think the pacing is good. It keeps you entertained, no matter what age you are. I think that it's a movie made for pop culture fans, and so I don't know if you're not a fan of all these pop culture references, you probably won't like it all that much.
Right. But it's got Mechagodzilla in it, so that's really the selling point.
King Kong.
Yeah, it's got Iron Giant in it, so that's a really selling point.
There you go.
The King Kong in it was cool too.
No Captain America though, Dalton.
He was in it.
So
I still love the movie
though.
Cap is supposedly one of the Gunters in the final battle who's fighting Sixers, along with Jason Voorhees.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that the Avengers were in.
There's Jason, there's also
still
Freddy.
have not seen them,
And
but
Chucky.
the internet will tell you that they're in there.
Right.
Freddy comes at like the very beginning of the movie though.
Is he?
He's on that big like
Planet.
That's
Dune.
right. Yeah.
No, because Planet
you're right.
Dunes were the end of the movie set.
But Freddy is in it.
Yeah.
Because I just saw a screenshot.
He gets
of
roasted by Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem.
That's all I
Duke
know.
Nukem.
Duke Nukem. Oh, is that what he's called?
Yeah.
Duke Nukem.
I never actually knew what he was called. I just heard other YouTubers say his name. But
Yeah, another good pick.
Yes,
I like
agreed.
this one.
yeah,
It's gotten a lot of hate from the people that loved the book,
which is
know?
funny because
again,
the guy that wrote the book worked like incredibly heavily on this movie, and he was like I'm having so much fun. Like, this is like my book. He's like, this is exactly what I would want to see if I were going to the theaters to watch Ready Player One. And he loved it. So.
Like I said, I was even disappointed the first time I watched it because I was like, the book, first of all, is, you know, obviously it's a book, so it's way more fleshed out. You learn a lot more about your characters. There's also a lot more stakes. Like, Daito is murdered in real life by Sixers who come to his apartment and kill him while he's playing in the Oasis. So there's like more stakes to it. And the characters have to be a lot smarter to figure things out in the book. So I was disappointed the first time I saw the movie. But after watching the movie so many times now, I would prefer the movie over the book.
You just have to kind of take it how it is.
Yeah, you have to accept that they're different. And then once you accept that, I think I do like the movie more than I like the book. But there you go. That's my pick. What'd you think, Dalton?
I like that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I mean, you guys have really covered everything that is pretty good about it.
It came out in March.
Did you see it in theaters?
No, I did not.
I asked you to see it with me in theaters, and you didn't text me back until I was out of the theater having seen it.
God damn.
And then he said, I can't.
My bad.
Just like the podcast. You gonna be here? Slenderman episode? Got a girlfriend. Can't. Alright.
On to my movie. I picked another movie that's real recent.
Are you wearing his jacket?
I am wearing his jacket. This is I picked Baby Driver, and I'm wearing the Baby Driver jacket right now that I'm wearing. Mainly because the basement's cold, but also because I'm talking about Baby Driver, so why not?
Gotta get in the mood.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, Baby Driver. It's an Edgar Wright movie, who's also known for doing like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which everybody loves.
And Ant-Man until he didn't do Ant-Man.
Yeah, he was originally supposed to do Ant-Man. Yeah, so Baby Driver, the story is of a driver named Baby, but more specifically, he's a getaway car driver for, I don't want to say...
teams.
Yeah, heist teams. It's not necessarily an organization. It's just run by a man named Doc, who organizes a bunch of different heists throughout the movie. 3 specifically. And Baby...
Speaking of pedophiles...
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Boy.
Baby Driver does all of the driving for these heists because he's in debt to Doc because he stole and destroyed a car that had a lot of Doc's valuables in it. And so each heist he does, he has to give his portion to Doc until he's all paid up. When supposedly he'll be out of heist driving But that does not turn out to be the case because Baby pays off his debt, and Doc then threatens to kill everyone Baby loves if Baby doesn't keep driving for him, because he considers Baby to be his good luck charm since all of his heists have gone off without a hitch since Baby's been driving for him.
And one thing to mention was that he uses different people for every heist except Baby keeps him in like every single heist.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He never does the exact same people in the heist.
Not the same team.
Not the
But
same
he'll
team.
reuse
Yes.
people from other
Yeah.
heists in the heists, as he does throughout the movie. In the first heist, you've got Baby, Darling, Buddy, and
Shane.
Griff. Shane
Shane.
from Walking Dead. He makes a little appearance.
The Punisher.
And then you've got heist number 2, where you've got Baby, Bats, JD, and
The
tattoo. Yeah, nose sounds right.
It's
Something
like the
that.
guy whose nose is all messed up in it.
Is these the Mike Myers guys?
Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah, and this is when that citizen
Eddie.
is like...
He's known as Eddie,
I'm
but
stopping
he
here.
calls it.
Yeah, the
That
citizen
citizen-
who had an SMG in his car.
Yeah, that guy took it so far. I would have been like, ooh.
I thought that part was a little odd, that
it
he had a
does.
pistol at first and then gets to the center console and pulls out an SMG and you're
It
just
kind
like,
of comes
what
out
the...
of nowhere, too, and he's like...
I thought it was a cool scene, don't get me wrong. I thought it was awesome, I just thought it was weird that a citizen...
Yeah. I thought it was odd that a citizen would have tried to stop it at all. I think we learned a lesson from Tobey Maguire. You're really just going to be like, I don't see how that's my problem, and step out of the way. I can't picture...
That's only when the black suit, or no, that's only when
That's
you're bent
only-
on revenge, because the citizens of New York help fight the
True,
Green
you got me
Goblin
there, never
and
mind.
Doc Ock. So.
Lesson learned,
Boom.
a citizen will always come to the rescue.
But they will fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the final heist is comprised of Bats, Baby, Darling, and Buddy, who are all people who were in earlier heists that then mix together for the final heist.
Yep.
And I think the movie's just got like such amazing tension to it. I remember, so the parking garage scene specifically is the moment in the movie where I was like physically like tense
The
in
one
my
at the
seat.
very
Where
end
they're,
with John Hamm.
yeah, where Baby's trying to escape and go tell the police, and John Hamm catches him, and then Bats catches him, catches the two of them, and it's real tense like that. It's great though, and just I have no issues with any of the story. I think Edgar Wright did such an amazing job layering this movie and making it really complex to where it's like you can go back and rewatch the movie and just start picking out new things that you didn't notice the first time. Like, there's a thing where they're watching TV channels, and every quote on the TV shows up as a quote later on in the movie, and just the whole... They basically lay out the final act for you where Buddy and Baby go head-to-head, and it's just so good. And the whole thing is set to such an amazing soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where, like, every noise that's made where they're counting money and just every bit of the car chase is synced up to the music. All the bullets that are fired match up to beats in the songs.
The lyrics on the songs appear on the walls outside.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't notice that.
it's such a
either.
brilliant movie.
Super cool.
At the beginning,
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not one for like really artsy movies or anything that try and force complexity down your throat, but like this, it didn't feel like that. It just felt like a movie where you had a really intelligent director doing a fantastic job of making this movie happen, and all the characters in it were great, and the actors that they picked were fantastic. I left that movie going, God damn it, John Hamm is amazing. I love
Oh, yeah, John Hamm's awesome.
I want to see everything he's
scary.
ever been in. He's so good. Well, he's scary, but he's also like super nice and
you like him.
sympathetic.
Right.
And it's like
You like him until
you like him
don't.
and then you hate him, and he just does such a
Right, yep.
freaking good job. And even Kevin Spacey before he
Pedoed off.
Before he was outed as a pedo.
yeah, back when it was still cool to like Kevin Spacey did a great job in that movie, and Isa Gonzalez did a good job as Darling. Bats was Jamie Foxx. He was a terrifying character.
Oh,
Like, you never knew what he was going to do. It's just such an all-around amazing film. I love it.
Yep. What's your favorite chase?
They're all so good, and that opening, it starts out with the bell-bottoms chase scene, which, I mean, it's like become a staple of driving, where I'll just turn bell-bottoms on and drive around listening to that. favorite chase scene in the movie. The bell bottoms one is so good at the beginning to like really wrap you in. And I think I've never been a big fan of watching car chases. It's always kind of boring because it's just like two cars like chasing after each other.
Yeah,
and
we'll
who
put that to the
cares?
test tomorrow with Fast and the Furious. But
Yeah,
until then.
But I think that these ones are done so well, and the music helps really bring the tension together. And it's more than just watching two cars chase each other. You see like the inside perspectives of the people in the cars. But I would actually probably say that my favorite chase sequence from the movie is the one when it's the foot chase.
That's my favorite.
When Baby's got to outrun the cops
That's my
on
favorite
foot
chase in the
after
movie.
he like ruins their third heist. I think that one's probably it's really tense and it's really good, and it's like he definitely like he does a lot of good maneuvers to outsmart the police, and yeah, that's probably my favorite.
John Hamm would have had to have a couple of those good maneuvers down because he shows back up later.
Yeah.
Even though he was definitely going to get caught.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would definitely say that above the chase sequences, that end fight between Baby and Buddy to Brighton Rock is
Yeah,
so
I was gonna
good.
say I really like that one.
It's so good.
Aren't they in the parking garage? Yeah,
and the
and
police lights.
on.
The red lights are over Buddy's face, and the blue lights are over Baby's face, and it just looks so good.
Yeah, it was really good. And I mean, I hate car chase sequences a lot of the time because they're always so boring.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed this one because of the music, and then like you said, because you saw a little bit more than just them driving around a bunch.
Yeah.
You got them talking and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, but remember that really bad car chase sequence at the beginning of Saw, or during Saw? It was towards the end, wasn't it? When Zepp and police super cop were chasing each other.
But that one was literally just close-ups on their faces while like frantically driving.
I don't think that one lasted too long, though.
It was so bad.
A lot of the time they last like way too long.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
thinks it's so badass, and they're just like weaving in between cars like you see on
Doing
the highway
little
every day.
jumps, and it's like so dumb.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my favorite. So a good way to like explain how these are set apart is that scene in the first Bell Bottoms car chase when Baby slides between the three red cars. Goes in front of one, slams his brakes so that they have to move into the other lane to trick the police, like while under a bridge. It's just so clever, and it's something that you don't see in every car chase, where it's like, here goes
And
10 cop cars, and there goes the bandit,
And they're switching
they're doing
cars
little
and-
jumps.
They're doing like
Yeah.
e-brakes and stuff, and you
Yeah.
see it all the time. But yeah, when you do introduce stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's so much better.
And the camera's stable, too. You understand what's happening.
A lot of good camera work.
Yep.
I love everything about this movie. It's not my favorite movie ever made, but I think that I'm more of a general movie kind of guy. You know, I go see all of the superhero movies that come out. I go see all the ones that you know are going to be big pop culture things like Ready Player One. But I don't necessarily venture to go see just these like random movies that come out like this. This kind of went under my radar. I saw the trailers for it and I was like, yeah, that looks pretty good, but I don't know. It's not like a huge movie that I feel like I have to go see.
I was so excited for this movie.
But I went in and I watched it and I like left going, Jesus, that was such a good movie. I just want to see it again. And I've seen it like 5 times since it's come out last year. I love that movie so much.
Yeah, Kyle was telling me to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
It took me until this year to finally see it.
Not even this year, like 2 weeks ago. When
Yeah.
we finally went and bought the movie and watched it.
I was like, yeah, I'll get it. I was like, I was worried that you were overhyping it, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I don't want to be disappointed by it. And then I just kept putting it off, you know? And then when I saw it, I was like, it lives up to the Kyle hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Very thankful for this movie. It's got great action,
Yep.
great characters, great story.
So now
That's
what?
great.
Who picked which one of us picked the best movie?
The best movie?
Yeah.
If you
That's
can't
hard to
pick,
say.
if you can't pick your own, then I give mine to Alex because I also have a huge sentimental connection to the Iron Giant.
I'd pick Winter Soldier. If you can't pick your own?
Yeah, if you can't pick your own.
Because
Because otherwise we're gonna pick our own. We
You
picked
know
our own for a reason.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I've
I'd
seen
pick-
all of your guys' movies.
I think I would
so
actually
if
probably rather watch Baby Driver than Winter Soldier. So
I
I'm
think
a
Baby Driver's mine as
I'd
well.
pick Baby Driver if I couldn't do myself.
Hey.
Kyle wins.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the Extremely Low Budget Podcast. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comment section what your favorite, or what movies
movie
you're
you're
thankful for.
Yes. and how you would rate our movies.
Yes. Did you enjoy Baby Driver, Iron Giant, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and Ready Player One? Let us know what you think. Click on screen now on this side of the screen to watch last week's episode of the Extremely Low Budget Podcast.
And then click on the other side to watch
the playlist.
The playlist of all the episodes of the
I was
Extremely
worried you
Low
were going to
Budget
say
Podcast.
something that wasn't the playlist.
And right there in that middle, punch that little subscribe button for us and catch every week's episode of the Extremely Low Budget Podcast.
Yes.
We will see you next week when we have a special Thanksgiving topic.
Later, fellas.
Bye.